This video will walk you through the deployment of the Interprod serial number lock screen builder. For this demo, I will be using Sure MDM from 42 Gears. However, this process should be fairly similar across most of the MDM providers out there. If you run into any trouble, don't hesitate to reach out. We may have the details on how to help resolve any issues you're running into with your MDM and deploying these tools. The first thing to do is approve the application in your managed Google Play account. Go to play.google.com/work and search for Interprod serial number lock screen builder, or just use the link below this video. Once you're there, click approve and your app is approved in the Play Store. The app should appear in your MDM. Some MDMs require a sync. Some MDMs require you to manually add it. It really depends. The next step for us is to create an application policy that includes all the profile settings for the app config. Inside 42 Gears, I'll give it a name, my 8-inch tablet screen builder, and I'll go ahead and create an application policy. I'm going to add the application in. Here you'll see 42 Gears makes me search the Play Store again. So Interprod serial number, there it is. I'll go ahead and select this application. 42 Gears takes me right into the managed configuration. This is great. These are the settings for the app that I'm looking for. I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. It's an 8-inch tablet I'm working on for this demo. I'm going to pop a license key in here as well. If you don't have a license key, it just adds some text to the bottom of the image that says built by Interprod. The license key just removes that text. Contact us if you'd like to buy some licenses. The rest of these settings I'm going to leave as is for now. We'll get back to these in a little bit. Once I save that setting, I'm going to go ahead and apply the necessary permissions for the application. The lock screen builder needs the internet access to download settings, and it needs the ability to create the image and save it to your device. So once I grant those permissions, I'll go ahead and save this policy, and then I'm going to apply that policy to the device. So in 42 Gears, I'll jump over, click the policy, click apply, and it sent that configuration down to the tablet. Now if I look at my tablet, I'll see that I've got a basic tablet here. I'll go in, the application's installed, I'll run the app, and what I'll see is all my settings have come down from MDM. There's my license key. The app shows that my license key is valid. My serial number appears. And there's a bunch of different settings and debug settings that I can take a look at. Below all of this information, I've got the screen that's been built for me. You can see here it's a really basic black screen with a serial number up at the top. If I go ahead and hit quit down at the bottom, I'll see that my device home screen is still set the way it was when I started. But if I lock the tablet and show you the lock screen, there's my serial number. So it made a black background, white serial number in the top left. Let's go take a look at how we do some of the other settings. One thing you may have noticed is that we had to manually launch the application on the device in order to get the lock screen to build. Most MDM tools will provide a way to automate that process. Here in Sure MDM from 42 Gears, I go into Jobs, and I can add a job to do just about anything I need it to do. If I take a look at the job that I've built for launching the lock screen builder, you'll see that it's a pretty straightforward job. It sends a command down to the device to launch com.interprodinc.enterprise lock screen generator. That's the package name for the app. So if we take that job and we go apply it to the device, we'll see that it very simply causes the application to run on the device. So this helps us with automation for launching the app when we deploy it. And there it is. Very simple process. We also have to scroll down to the bottom and click that quit button. We also have a way to automate this. That's built into the application's app config settings. So if I go over to the profile for that, where I was setting my serial number and all that information before, and this application policy, down at the very bottom of the screen, there's a setting here for automatically quit. I usually leave that at no when I'm messing around with devices for the first time. I want to get the serial numbers just in the right spot, all the settings right. And then when I roll it out to production, I'll go ahead and click on automatically quit yes, so that I can automate the installation, I can automatically launch the app, and then the app will automatically close itself. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the settings. Right above that, I've got my home screen settings. So I can configure this lock screen to just be on the lock screen or also on the home screen as well. I'll go ahead and click that for our next demo. I also don't like the serial number showing up at the very top left corner. If I set my X coordinate to 330 for this 8-inch tablet, that sets it over from the left-hand side about 330 pixels. And if from the Y, I'm going to set it at 1050. That's 1050 from the top down. So I start in the upper left-hand corner whenever I'm putting in these coordinates. My text size looked okay, so I'm going to leave that at 20. I can also change the colors. Right now I've got a solid black background. That's very easy. I like that. It's clean looking, but I can change it to any color using hex color notations. So just replace these 6 zeros with whatever hex color you want. And the same goes for the text color. So I can set the background color and the text color just by changing these two. I'm going to go ahead and hit save here. I'm going to keep all the same permissions. I'm going to jump over and apply this policy. Once it's applied, all of those new settings get pushed down to the application. If I go back over to the application and launch it, you'll see that all of my new settings will appear inside the application. I've got my new text coordinates. Text size is still the same, colors are still the same, and you'll see that my serial number now appears down at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and quit that. It also set it to the home screen, and if I go ahead and lock the device here, you'll see that the serial number appears really nicely right above that swipe to unlock. Now you may want to play around with those settings a bit so you get the serial number right where you want it. We can also do a lot more customization of this home screen. I showed you some colors before, but what if we want to use a logo background? So this is a really basic sort of fake company logo, fake company name, nice little blue logo on a white background. I want to apply that as my background screen. If I go into my profile, instead of using a color, I'm going to go ahead and click on image. And then in this URL, I'm going to paste the URL to that image. So just upload that somewhere that you can get a direct URL to it and paste that URL in here. I'm going to leave the XY coordinates where they are. I think it'll show up just fine. One thing I could do is I could come in and change the text color as well. I'm going to leave it as black, or I'm going to set it to black, sorry, because I've got a white background. So I'll go ahead and set that text color to black. I could make it blue, I could make it any other color like that logo, but I'll just go ahead and set it to black. I'll go ahead and save this and keep the permissions, and then I'm going to re-push that policy down to the device. So you'll see we can get pretty fancy with how we deploy, what it looks like, where the serial number ends up, etc. All right, let's go look at the device. The policy's been applied. We'll go ahead and relaunch the application. And once the application comes up, we'll see that I now have a new URL for my image that I'm downloading. My license key is all still the same, serial number's there, but there's some information up at the top about my image size. And if I scroll down, you'll see that the serial number appears nicely below the logo. I also was able to set that to the home screen, and the serial number appears nicely again right above the little icons. I don't really like this widget so close to my logo, so I'm going to drop it down a notch, make the screen look nicer. And then if I lock the device, you'll see the home screen, or the lock screen, sorry, looks really nice with that logo and the serial number down at the bottom. Now the last step in the process for deploying this out in mass is setting it to automatically quit. So if we go back over and we look at our profiles, go into our application profile, scroll down and click on automatically quit yes, save that, keep the same permissions. What happens when we launch the device now through our automation, the app is going to launch. Let's go over and look at the device. We'll see that app launches, and once it launches, we won't see it for very long, and it quits. So that makes our process of creating a wallpaper that gets set as the background and the lock screen with our serial number on the device very simple and straightforward. If you like this video, go ahead and hit subscribe. You can contact us also at the Interprod website, www.interprodinc.com. Down at the bottom, there's a Contact Us section. If you need any help with any of this, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much.